Time now for the Bullpen Show, where we get a chance to warm up for today's Colfax Viking baseball game. Now, let's head out to the bullpen.
Hello and welcome to the NLWN-TV studios. Rick Olson here, and today we are taking our coverage of Colfax Viking baseball on the road as we visit Elk Mound while the Vikings take on the unbeaten Elk Mound Mounders. The Vikings are coming off a 5-1 loss to the Spring Valley Cardinals on Monday, while the Mounders defeated the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 11-1 also on Monday. The Vikings are still looking for that first conference win of the season, and they'll have their work cut out for them as they take on the conference-leading Mounders, who topped the Vikings 13-0 back on April 14th. Now, coming up in today's edition of the Bullpen Show, we'll take a look at today's matchup between the Vikings and the Mounders. Then we'll get to know one of the Viking players in Viking Profile. Finally, we'll send it out to the ballpark for some exciting high school boys baseball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout as you're tuned to the Bullpen Show on NLWN-TV.
It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not. Slayton's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Slayton's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Slayton's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Slayton's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Slayton's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Welcome back to the bullpen, where we're getting warmed up for today's Dunn-St Croix Conference matchup between the Colfax Vikings and the Elk Mound Mounders. Now, the Vikings are coming off a 5-1 loss to the Spring Valley Cardinals last Monday, while the Mounders defeated the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 11-1 also on Monday. Now, back on April 14th, the Mounders and the Vikings squared off in Colfax, and the Mounders emerged victorious 13-0. Since then, the Vikings have been struggling at the plate, including last Monday's loss to Spring Valley. In that game against the Cardinals, the Vikings were led at the plate by sophomore Caleb Bailey, who went 2 for 2 while driving in the only Viking run.
Hard shot, it's going to get through, rounding third is Beekner. He's going to come in, and he's in safely.
On that RBI single, Bailey was thrown out trying to stretch it into a double. Senior Drew Beekner went 1 for 3 and scored the only Viking run. Brady Elmer got on base all 3 of his plate appearances with a single to center field, an error on Spring Valley's Braden Gregg at third, and on a walk. On the mound, Orion Nichols took the loss in spite of 4 1/3 strong innings, striking out 6 and only allowing 2 earned runs. The Viking defense showed improvement with the exception of the 5th inning, where they committed 3 errors and allowed 4 runs. Later in the game, Nichols came up with a web gem diving catch out in left field.
There's a fly ball out towards left field, and making the diving catch out there is Orion Nichols. Doing it on the mound, doing it in the field.
Leading the way for the undefeated Mounders is Cameron Deermeyer, who's swinging the bat at a 500 clip. That includes a home run and 3 doubles. He also leads the Mounders with 17 stolen bases. He's followed by Caden Moyer, who's batting .463 with 4 doubles. Also batting over .400 for the Mounders are Victor Noller at .436 and Peyton Veith at .410. On the hill, the Mounders are being led by Noller, who sports a 3-0 record. It's in 24 2/3 innings pitched and an ERA of 1.14. Deermeyer, Quentin Spiele, Braden Borick are all posting 3-0 records. Leading the way for the Vikings at the plate is senior Brady Elmer, who's putting up a .313 average. Following Elmer is Zach Hedela, batting .278. Also batting over .200 for the Vikings are Drew Beekner at .240, Connor Arntzen at .235, and Caleb Bailey at .231. Leading the way on the mound is Hedela, who struck out 31 in 17 2/3 innings pitched, while posting an ERA of 1.98. Bailey is right behind Gila, striking out 22 in 19 2/3 innings of work while posting a whip of 1.68. Ryan Nichols has the only win of the season and has a 1-3 record. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get to know one of this season's Viking players on Viking Profile. You're warming up in the bullpen on NLWN-TV.
Menominee Eye and Optical can help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comro provide comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract or LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, and so much more. In addition, Menominee Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eyewear for the best value. That's Menominee Eye and Optical, 520 Wilson Avenue in Menominee, where they specialize in quality personalized care for you and your family.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're talking with Brady Elmer, who is a senior here at Colfax High School. And Brady, we know that you play baseball, but are you involved in any other activities here at school?
I play football and powerlifting.
Okay. Now, when did you start playing baseball, and what kind of an experience have you had?
I played since about 3rd grade. It's been great ever since.
Okay. So what's the most important thing that you've learned playing baseball?
Patience. That's really it. You gotta be patient.
Wait on that pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you're not playing baseball or you're not here at school, what are some other things that keep you interested or occupied?
Hang out with my family, my girlfriend. About it. Video games.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you know these questions are coming. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookie?
Ice cream.
Which kind?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Yeah. That's kind of the go with everything kind of. Yeah. Can't go wrong with a little chocolate in your life. Yeah. All right, burger, brat, or hot dogs?
Burger.
What do you want on that burger?
Just cheese.
Just cheese. A very plain, just cheese burger. All right. Favorite color and why?
Blue. I don't know. I've always liked blue. No reason.
Okay. Now, if you could have a superpower, what do you think that might be and why?
Super speed, probably, because I'm really slow right now.
So something you haven't experienced.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, if somehow you ended up with super speed as a superpower, you have to have a superhero name to go with it. So what's Brady's superhero name?
The Big B.
The Big B.
Yep.
All right. Yep. Now, is there a baseball player that you've watched or read about or whatever who's influenced the way you play your game?
My dad, probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Talk about that.
He's taught me everything I know, from how I swing, everything in the field. Coached me since I was a kid. So.
Okay, and we're talking with Brady Elmer today on Viking Profile. And Brady, what are your plans for after high school?
CVTC. Haven't really quite decided fully yet, but.
Okay, how about a shout out to the family?
Shout out my mom, my dad, my girlfriend.
Okay, so when people come to Viking games, what number do you wear and where are we going to find you on the field?
Most of the time first base or DH, and I wear number 14.
Okay, we want to thank Brady Elmer for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next, more of the Bullpen Show.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
If your estate isn't looking quite estate-like, let Midwest Environmental Consultants landscape your estate right up to snuff with installation of retaining walls, brick patios, foundation planting beds, and so much more. Then they'll keep it that way with their expert lawn care service. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your estate the showplace of the neighborhood.
Welcome back to the Bullpen Show. Today, the Vikings will take on the undefeated Elk Mound Mounders in a Dunn-St Croix Conference contest from Lions Park in Elk Mound. Now, last Monday, the conference had a full slate of games, including the Spring Valley Cardinals coming away as a 5-1 winner over the Colfax Vikings. It was the Elk Mound Mounders keeping their conference record perfect with an 11-1 victory over the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. And the Mondovi Buffaloes were topping the Boyceville Bulldogs 6-2, while the Durand, Arkansas Panthers blanked the Elmwood Plum City Wolves 7-0. Now that leaves the Dunn-St. Croix Conference as follows. In first place are the 9-0 Elk Mound Mounders. They're followed by the Mondovi Buffaloes at 8-1 and just one game out. The Spring Valley Cardinals sit in third place at 5-3 and 3.5 games off the pace. Fourth place sees the Durand, Arkansas Panthers at 4-3 and 4 games back, while the Boyceville Bulldogs are in fifth and 4.5 games out. The Glenwood City Hilltoppers at 2-6 hold down sixth place. In seventh place we find the Elmwood Plum City Wolves, and eighth place belongs to the Colfax Vikings. Now today the Dunn-St. Croix Conference again has a full slate of games, including the Colfax Vikings traveling to Elk Mound to face the Mounders, and the Glenwood City Hilltoppers will play host to the Spring Valley Cardinals. In addition, it will be the Mondovi Buffaloes greeting the Elmwood Plum City Wolves, and the Durand, Arkansas Panthers will host the Boyceville Bulldogs. Now today, the Vikings are going to have their hands full. However, Monday showed that when the Vikings are focused and eliminate the errors in both fielding and running, they can be competitive. The Mounders put the Vikings in a position of having to be nearly perfect in hitting, fielding, and base running if the Vikings are going to be able to do that, and their pitching has been strong enough to put them in a position to win. Now that said, the stage is set for some exciting high school baseball, and we'll have all the action for you right here on NLWN-TV. Now in just a moment I'll join our broadcast crew at Lions Park in Elk Mound as we bring you all the action of today's Dunn-St. Croix Conference game between the Colfax Vikings and the Elk Mound Mounders. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to The Bullpen Show on NLWN-TV.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
You've been tuned to The Bullpen Show, where we've had an opportunity to get warmed up for today's Colfax Viking baseball game. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking baseball.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
Colfax Vikings baseball is on the air.
Hedela rounds third. He's going to try to score, and Hedela comes in to score. Bailey moves over to second on the throw to the plate.
NLWN-TV, along with Colfax High School, proudly brings you today's Colfax Vikings baseball game.
And there he gets it, right down the third base line, out into left field. One run comes in. Here comes a second run in to score.
Now, it's out to the ballpark in today's Colfax Viking baseball game.
And good afternoon, and welcome to Lions Park in Elk Mound. Rick Olson here along with Amanda Lemler on the computer. John Fellens making his first shot at doing baseball with a camera. He's very experienced with the camera, but it's his first time doing baseball, and we are just about ready to get things going with the Vikings taking on the conference-leading Elk Mound Mounders. Batting order for the Vikings, leading off the center fielder Drew Beekner. Caleb Bailey, and pitching is batting second. Batting third, the designated hitter Zach Hedela. Batting fourth and left fielder Ryan Nichols. Brady Elmer at first base is batting fifth. Batting sixth behind the plate, Robert Holman. Batting seventh, And playing shortstop is Connor Arnson. Batting 8th at third base, Grant Cook. And batting 9th, playing right field, Grant Palowitz. Grant Paulus is actually, Palowitz is playing second base. I can't even read my own writing here. And Grant Paulus is playing out in right field. He's being designated hit 4. Taking a look at the Mounders defensively, over at third base is Borick. That's Braden Borick. Peyton Veith is at shortstop. Gavin Dean is over at second base. Vic Noller is at first. And on the mound is Quentin Spiele. And the first pitch, and it's popped foul. And no, it stayed in play. Caught by Vic Noller. So Drew Beekner fouls out, or pops out to the first baseman. It's going to bring up Caleb Bailey. The rest of the Mounders defensively, Will Thatcher's behind the plate. The first pitch is a ball to Caleb Bailey. And then out in the outfielder, it's Rude, Diermeyer, and Garretts. Swing and a miss for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. That one was a little bit high. Quentin Spiele on the mound. And that's popped foul out of play. Spiele has a 2.62 ERA. Here's the pitch. Check swing outside for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Spiele has a 3-0 record. And that one's low and inside, so it's ball 3. Three balls, 2 strikes to Caleb Bailey. Bailey comes into the game batting .231. And the payoff pitch, he fouls that one out of play. And the pitch, strike 3, call it, but ball gets dropped, throw down to first to complete the strikeout. So Bailey strikes out. Thatcher dropped the ball. So Bailey took off for first, and Thatcher picked it up and made the throw to complete the strikeout. So with 2 down, that's going to bring up Zach Hedela. Hedela batting .278. And that pitch is high and inside for a ball. And the pitch. That's down low for a ball. Andrew Dominguez calling balls and strikes. Mike Bertzner is out on the bases. There's a fly ball out into center field. Diermeyer back, and he makes the catch. So Hedela flies out to center field, and for the Vikings, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. And we've played a half inning. It's the Vikings nothing and the Elk Mound Mounders coming to bat on NLWN-TV.
Our goal at Woods Run Forest Products is the same today as it was when we started back in 1978. That is, to produce lumber products that best fit the customer's needs. We can achieve that goal by utilizing local talent and local timber to fit customers' needs. Whether you're a commercial contractor or a do-it-yourselfer. Check out the products available at Woods Run Forest Products in Colfax.
There are a lot of words I would use to describe my daughter. Kind, strong, hilarious. When I think about how much she's experienced in her life, we can't help but be inspired by her every day. So really, we are the lucky ones. Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
Back here at Elk Mound, Caleb Bailey on the mound. And Bailey comes into today's game sporting an ERA of 7.12, but he's got a whip of only 1.68. And one of the nastiest curveballs we've seen in quite a while. He's going to be facing Cameron Diermeyer, Peyton Veith, and Victor Noller in the top half of the first. So Cameron Diermeyer comes into the game batting .500. The lefty steps in. Bailey winds and delivers. Diermeyer shows bunt, and Bailey comes up and makes the catch. That's going to bring up Peyton Veith. He's the shortstop, and he's batting .410. Peyton Veith's older brother is playing for the Eau Claire Cavaliers, and we'll be calling his name on Saturday when we have the doubleheader against the Chippewa Falls Lumberjacks here on NLWN-TV. That pitch is high. 2 balls, no strikes. 1 out. And the pitch, that's right at the very top of the zone. Two balls and a strike. And his foul back counts even up at 2-2. Here's the wind and the 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. That was that nasty curveball right there. That's going to bring up Victor Noller. Noller batting .436, and the first pitch is high. There's a line shot right into the glove of Grant Palowitz for out number 3. So we completed an inning, and the Mounders went down 1-2-3. So after 1, we have no score from Lions Park on NLWN-TV.
Get in touch with the roots of the Chippewa Valley at the Chippewa Valley Museum, located in Eau Claire's Carson Park, with a mission of connecting people to their community and inspire curiosity. From reinventing the Chippewa Valley, a century of change in farm life, the Farmhouse Theater, along with the Wisconsin Logging Museum and Logging Camp. Also, the Chippewa Valley Museum features special temporary exhibits and traveling exhibits, as well as web exhibits. The Chippewa Valley Museum is open Tuesdays through Saturdays. Call for more information at 715-834-7871.
And don't forget that the summer hours at the Chippewa Valley Museum will begin on May 31st. That's coming up pretty quickly. So check out cvmuseum.com for more information. Also, don't forget that the exhibit Anderson to Yang, along with the traveling exhibit Rocks and Hard Places, on loan from the Vesterheim Museum in Decorah, Iowa, are showing through the end of August. And so those are both worth stopping by the museum to see. The Chippewa Valley Museum, located in Carson Park in Eau Claire. Due up for the Cavaliers in the top of the second inning, we have Orion Nichols, Brady Elmer, and Robert Holman. Nichols comes into the game batting .087. And there's a strike called on the outside corner. Here's the wind and the pitch. Fly ball out into left field. Coming in and making the catch out there is Rude. That's Parker Rude out there in left field. So one down. It's going to bring up Brady Elmer, batting .313. He's leading the Vikings in hitting. And he foul tips that one. Nice aggressive swing at the plate that time. And the pitch. Ground ball right back up the middle. Speely flips it over to Noller at first. And so Elmer grounds out 1-3. That's going to bring up Rob Holman, batting .063. He's been a nice surprise defensively. Now he just has to get the bat to wake up. And that pitch is high. And that pitch is down low. Speely looking in for the sign. And he delivers. Smacks it out into left field. Way back. It's over the left fielder. Out to the fence. And Rob Holman is in with a double. That's Holman's second hit on the season. And it brings up Connor Arntzen, and he hits a pop foul out of play over on the left side. And the pitch. Outside for a ball. Counts even at 1-1. 2 down. Holman on second. Speely delivers. And that one gets past Thatcher, and Holman heads over to third. Two balls and a strike to Connor Arntzen. And the pitch. That's down in the dirt. It gets past, and in comes Holman. And he's safe on the wild pitch. And the Vikings draw first blood. 3-1, or 3-1 is the count. 1-0, Vikings on top. Connor Arntzen at the plate. The 3-1 pitch. Foul back into the screen. Count goes full. And the pitch. Strike 3 called. So Connor Arntzen goes down looking, but the Vikings picked up 1 run on 1 hit. There were no errors and nobody left on base. So for the Vikings, they're on top 1-0 after an inning and a half on NLWN-TV.
The teen years are a great time for your child to gain practical experience in managing finances. Perhaps he or she already has a summer job lined up. A free checking account at Dairy State Bank can help teens learn to set a budget, track spending, use a debit card, make deposits, and more. Plus, parents are account co-owners and have the ability to supervise the learning process. Give us a call today. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Let NLWN-TV take you out to the ball game. broadcast will be on Saturday, May 10th, when we will bring you the Cavaliers taking on the Chippewa Falls Lumberjacks in a doubleheader from Carson Park. Live coverage on NLWN-TV begins with the In the Dugout show at 12 noon. That's live Eau Claire Cavalier baseball on Saturday, May 10th on NLWN-TV.
Well, how about that? The Vikings have opened up a 1-0 lead over the conference leading and undefeated Elk Mound Mounders. Due up for the Mounders in the bottom of the second inning, Caden Moyer, Ian Garretts, and Gavin Dean. Caleb Bailey delivers, ground ball, knocked down, throw over to first, in time. Connor Arnson got his body in front of it, knocked it down, and then made the throw. That's going to bring up Ian Garretts. And there's a strike called. And the pitch, fly ball out into right field. Paulus going back, and he can't make the catch. It got him twisted around, and checking in at second, and was close at second, is Ian Garretts. That's going to bring up Gavin Dean, batting .250. And that pitch is low for a ball. And the pitch. That just missed outside. It was about belt high, but just a hair outside. And the pitch. Foul ball down the left field line. 2 balls and a strike. Caleb Bailey takes a look at second and delivers, runners going. Throw it on to second, and it's not in time. So Garrett steals second. Or third, steals from second to third. It's all right, I've got Amanda here to keep me straight. And the pitch is high for ball 4. The runners on the corners now for the Mounders with 1 out, and it brings up Will Thatcher batting .175. Thatcher steps in. Dean takes his lead at first. He takes off. And they don't make a play at second. Holman came out throwing pretty hard as if he were going to second, but couldn't entice Garretts to come off a third. And there's a fly ball out into center field, and that found the gap. Out to the fence. 2 runs come in. As Will Thatcher checks in with a double. So the Mounders take the lead. And Parker Rude steps up with 1 out, runner on second. Throw over to second, and he's back in time. And the ball got away and around down to third. So that put Thatcher over on third on an error by Palowitz. The ball was there in plenty of time. Maybe not to get the out because it was on the wrong side of the bag, but it was a fairly routine throw. And Palowitz let it get by him and then didn't know where it was. So they're having a little discussion out on the mound. Coach DeMoe said everything he needed to say, and we're about ready to get back at it. Parker Rude steps back in. Here's the pitch. There's a strike called. Bailey with the 0-1 pitch. That's through the hole and out into left field. Run comes in to score as Parker Rude is on first. That's going to bring up Braden Borick. Borick batting .387. That pitch is high, throw down to second, and it's not in time. So Parker Rude is credited with a stolen base. One ball, no strikes to Braden Borick. There's a high pop-up. Out in foul territory, and getting over and making the catch that time is Grant Paulus. Back to the top of the order, Cameron Diermeyer, who tried to lay out a bunt, popped it up right out in front of the plate, and Caleb Bailey came in and made the catch. That was outside for a ball. And that's fouled off. Diermeyer trying to turn his shoulders out of the way of a high pitch, and the ball found the bat. And the pitch. That's outside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. And the pitch. Fly ball out into center field. Buechner moving over. He makes a catch. So for the Mounders, they picked up 3 runs on 3 hits. There was 1 Cavalier error and 1 left on base. So we've played 2 innings, and it's the Mounders 3 and the and the Vikings 1 on NLWN-TV.
It is springtime at the Concierge Home Decor and More in Colfax. The Concierge is a small-town decor shop that specializes in home, farmhouse, wedding, nursery, and holiday decor. The Concierge at 225 Bremer Avenue is open from 11 to 5 on Wednesdays through Fridays and 9 to 1 on Saturdays. Transform your house into a home with their selection of chic home decor pieces and thoughtful gifts for every occasion. Call the Concierge at 715-704-6008. That's the Concierge Home Decor and More in Colfax.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
As we head into the 3rd inning, due up for the Vikings, Grant Cook, Grant Palowitz, and Drew Buechner. Grant Cook batting .150 on the season. And Spieley's first pitch is fouled back into the screen. Spiele winds and delivers. There's a pop foul out of play. There's the wind and the pitch. That one's fouled off. Count remains 0-2. And the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. That's the third strikeout today for Spiele. And brings up Grant Palowitz, batting 133. And that pitch is low for a ball. And here comes the pitch. Strike at the knees. One ball, one strike. And that ball gets smacked out into left field for a base hit. And Palowitz rounds first, and he'll hold there. Back to the top of the order for the Vikings, Drew Buechner. He popped out to the first baseman, Vic Noller, in his first appearance. And there's a strike called at the letters. And the pitch. There's a fly ball out into center field. That one's pretty deep, but getting back right in front of the fence is Diermeyer, and he makes a catch. So 2 down. It brings up Caleb Bailey, who went down swinging his last time up. And that pitch missed for a ball. Here's the pitch. Runner goes, and the throw down to second goes out into center field. And Palowitz doesn't even stop at second and heads over to third. So he gets credit for a stolen base. And then it's an error on the catcher because the throw was too high, sent it out to center field. That's why he's on third. And there's a pop-up, foul territory, and that's out of play. Two balls and a strike. Palowitz is on third. And here's the pitch. There's a hard hit ball out into left field. Grant Palowitz comes in to score. And Bailey rounds first and checks into second. So Palowitz comes in to score. Bailey gets an RBI double. And the Vikings are right back in this. Brings up Zach Hedela, who flew out to center field his last time up. And he grounds one over towards second, and it's booted at second. Hedela checks in at first base, and coming in to score to tie the game is Caleb Bailey. That's going to bring up Ryan Nichols, who flew out to left his last time up. That pitch is outside. And the pitch. Foul tipped at the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 down. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. A ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch. It's outside for a ball. Hedela takes second. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Runner on second. And the pitch. And a foul ball down the first base line. Ryan Nichols at the plate. And he steps back in the box. And the pitch. Ground ball right back up the middle into center field. Hedela coming around, and he's going to score. Nichols gets over to second, and he's safe. So Nichols gets a single to center field, and he went to second on the play at the plate. He gets an RBI as Hedela comes in to score, and the Vikings are back on top, and the Mounders want to talk things over because they're not used to being in that situation. And they've said everything they want to say. And we have a new pitcher. Braden Borick is now on the mound. Let's see if we can pick up the other position changes. Actually, the one I'm looking for is where did Quentin Speely go? Unless they brought somebody in. He was being DH'd for. And Caden Moyer is out in the field now. I'm not sure where he's playing yet. So we're waiting to see a couple of these guys turn around so that we can read the numbers off their back. And Borick, or not Borick, but Moyer is now playing at third base. So Brady Elmer at the plate. And the pitch is down and in the dirt. Nichols on second. 2 down. 3 runs in for the Vikings. And another one down low. Elmer grounded back to the pitcher his last time up. And the pitch. He hits that one out towards left field. And they made the catch. So, for the Vikings, 3 runs on 3 hits. There were 2 Mounder errors and 1 man left on base. So, we've played 2.5. And it's the Vikings 4 and the Elk Mound Mounders 3 on NLWN-TV.
Bowling, America's pastime. From enjoying family fun to participating in a league, bowling is a central part of our culture. Let Viking Bowl and Lounge help you introduce bowling to your family. They offer a full menu, as well as drinks and activities to please all ages. That's the Viking Bowl and Lounge on Main Street in Colfax. Call 715-962-3252.
Back at Lions Park in Elk Mound as the Vikings have opened up a 4-3 lead over the Mounders. Due up for the Mounders in the bottom half of the third inning, Peyton Veith, Victor Noller, and Caden Moyer. Again, Peyton Veith's older brother, Carter Veith, plays catcher for the Eau Claire Cavaliers and will be in action on Saturday when the Cavaliers take on the Chippewa Falls Lumberjacks in a doubleheader from Carson Park. Our coverage on NLWN-TV is going to begin right around noon. 12:30, first pitch of game one. We'll also have the chance to air the first episode of Eau Claire Baseball Memories, our between games programming. Veith at the plate, and he pops the first pitch back for foul. Strike one. Caleb Bailey on the mound for the Vikings. Here's the pitch. There's a fly ball out into center field. Beekner heading back. He reaches up and makes a catch. Beekner playing a little bit shallower than maybe he should have been. Had to hustle back really hard, but he got back and he made the catch. That's going to bring Vic Noller line straight into the glove of Palowitz, his first time up. That pitch is high for a ball. There's the wind and the pitch. Swing and a foul back. Just a foul tip, just got a little piece of it. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that one's high and away. Two balls, 1 strike, and that pitch is high. 3-1 now the count to Vic Noller. Foul tip into the glove and the count goes full. Noller with a couple of doubles on the season. Here's the wind and the payoff pitch. Pop up foul territory and it's out of play.
Keep it up, Caleb.
Bailey winds and fires. There's a fly ball out into right center field. Palowitz is back. Beekner's back, and it's out of the ballpark. So Victor Noller ties the game with a home run to right center field. And we are tied at 4. That's going to bring up Caden Moyer, who's now playing third base. Moyer has 4 doubles on the season. His last time at the plate, he grounded to short. Here's the pitch. Strike called. Fastball on the inside half. Here's the wind and the pitch. That one's outside. Got away from Holman. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch. That just missed outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 out. And the pitch. Pop up, foul territory, coming over, and it's not going to be in play. Rob Holman gave it a chase. Here's the wind and the pitch. There's a fly ball into center field. Beekner ranging underneath, and he makes the catch. 2 down. Brings up Ian Garretts. He doubled and scored his last time up. He hit a fly ball deep into right field that got Grant Paulus all twisted around. That pitch is high for a ball. It ended up finding the grass and rolling to the fence. Curveball strike. Caleb Bailey fires the high fastball and got him to swing and miss. One ball, 2 strikes to Ian Garretts. Bailey's 1-2 pitch. Pop up out into center field. Beekner underneath, and he makes a catch. So Beekner made all 3 outs for the Vikings that inning. And for the Mounders, 1 run, 1 hit. That was the home run by Victor Noller. No errors, nobody left on base. We've played 3, and we are tied at 4 on NLWN-TV.
Shocking as it may seem, electricity doesn't always do what you want. When that happens to you, call Clucas Electric. Clucas Electric can take care of anything from a bad light switch, remodels, new construction, or replacing the main service on your home. Plus, Clucas Electric is now the authorized service provider for Briggs & Stratton home generators. So, for all your electrical needs, call Clucas Electric at 715-651-5064. That's Clucas Electric in Colfax.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/act now.
So we're back here in Elk Mound, and a game that is a lot tighter than what a lot of people thought it was going to be. Vikings and the Mounders all tied at 4 as we head into the 4th inning. Due up for the Vikings, Rob Holman, Connor Arntzen, and Grant Cook. Holman doubled to left field his last time up. And there's a fastball strike at the knees. And the pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. Bora kind of pulled the string on that one a little bit, and Holman was out in front. So the 0-2 pitch. Foul tip into the glove for strike 3. Connor Arntzen, who went down looking his first time up. Here's the wind in the pitch. Strike called at the letters. And the pitch. That one's outside. Fastball just missed. 1 ball and 1 strike to Connor Arnson. And the pitch. Fly ball out towards center field, towards that Bermuda Triangle, and it falls in. So a single for Connor Arnson to center field. It just hit into Bermuda Triangle, where things like baseballs get lost. That's going to bring up Grant Cook, who struck out his last time up, went down swinging. And he makes contact, sends it out into left field, and that falls in. And well, Cook stays at first, but in at third is Arnson. And Grant Palowitz steps to the plate. He singled his last time up. One out. Runners on the corners. And a ground ball foul down the first base line. Cook on first. Arnson on third for the Vikings. Cook takes his lead. And the pitch is inside. Cook was not going on that one. One ball, 1 strike. And the pitch. Runner goes, throw on down to second. They got him there, and the run does not come in and score. So Cook is caught stealing. I'm not exactly sure why Arnson didn't come in to score there. So now with 2 outs, there's a runner on third. Palowitz still at the plate, and a ground ball over to second, picked up, throw over to first, and it's in time. So for the Vikings, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left on base. So we've completed 3.5, and we're still tied at 4 on NLWN-TV.
Let NLWN-TV take you out to the ballgame. Our next broadcast will be on Saturday, May 10th, when we will bring you the Cavaliers taking on the Chippewa Falls Lumberjacks in a doubleheader from Carson Park. Live coverage on NLWN-TV begins with the In the Dugout show at 12 noon. That's live Eau Claire Cavalier baseball on Saturday, May 10th on NLWN-TV.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
And we're back here in Elk Mound, heading into the bottom of the 4th inning. Due up for the Mounders, Gavin Dean, Will Thatcher, and Parker Rude. They all reached safely their last time up. Caleb Bailey starting his 4th inning of work. Gavin Dean drew a walk his last time up. And the pitch, it's high for a ball. Here's the wind and the pitch. Fly ball out into left field, center field. Buechner back, he reaches up and he makes the catch right in front of the Kyle's Market sign. That's 4 outs in a row, 5 outs in a row made by Drew Buechner. He's having a busy day out there in center field. That's going to bring up Will Thatcher, who doubled and scored. It was a 2 RBI double his last time up. He hits that one over to short, scooped up by Arnson, throw to first in time. 2 down. It brings up Parker Rude. Rude singled to left his last time up. Drove in a run. Drove in Thatcher. And there's the curveball for a strike. That's that nasty curveball we've been talking about. And the pitch by Bailey. Chopper foul down the third baseline. Sun splash, 69 degrees at game time here in Elk Mound. Can't ask for a much nicer day for baseball. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him to chase the high heat. So the Mounders go down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We've played 4 and we're tied at 4 on NLWN-TV.
Let NLWN-TV take you out to the ballgame. Our next broadcast will be on Saturday, May 10th, when we will bring you the Cavaliers taking on the Chippewa Falls Lumberjacks in a doubleheader from Carson Park. Live coverage on NLWN-TV begins with the In the Dugout show at 12 noon. That's live Eau Claire Cavalier baseball on Saturday, May 10th on NLWN-TV.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Rick Olson with you today, along with Amanda Lemler on the computer, and John Fellens with his first attempt at using the camera for baseball. And, you know, there's a learning curve to this. Any of you who have never done it and think it's an easy job, I invite you to come and try, because it's not easy, and John's doing a heck of a job there. Drew Buechner at the plate for the Vikings. He popped out and flew out, and he fouls that one off. And the pitch. That one's outside for a ball. Making Caleb Bailey run back and forth a lot of times to shag those balls back at the fence. Here's the pitch. There's a hard shot over to third and caught at shoe top level by Moyer. By Moyer. That's going to bring up Caleb Bailey, who doubled his last time up out to left field. Came in and scored a run. There's a strike called at the letters.
Go, Caleb. You got it.
And the pitch. There's a shot. Falling in. And they couldn't make the catch. That's going to go in as a hit. He had him all twisted around. Veith was out there trying to make the catch, and the wind played havoc with it. It's not a real strong wind, but just enough to cause life to be interesting. Brings up Zach Hedela. Got on an error his last time up. Eventually came around and scored. There's a grounder down the third baseline. Throw over to first. And they got him at first. Throw to second. And the ball gets loose out into center field. So Hedela was out 5-3. He was waiting to make sure that that's what they called. It was close. So with 2 down, now there's a runner on second in Caleb Bailey. And Ryan Nichols hits a soft fly ball out to left field, and under it is Rude, and he makes a catch. So the Vikings, no runs, 1 hit, no error, and 1 left on base. We've played 4.5, and it's Vikings 4, Mounders 4 on NLWN-TV.
New construction in need of plumbing or older plumbing in need of repair, Logslet Plumbing is the one to call, just like these satisfied customers said.
They did all the plumbing in our new build from start to finish. They are dependable, honest, and easy to work with. They even give suggestions for products that are great quality but inexpensive. We put all our trust in Logslet Plumbing, and they did not disappoint.
A highly skilled plumber, I definitely recommend contacting Logslet Plumbing for any and all your plumbing needs.
So give Logslet Plumbing a call at 715-556-1673 and let Logslet Plumbing get your project flowing.
Need a new look for your team, club, or organization? Check out the top quality work by SK Screen Printing and Embroidery in Colfax. SK Screen Printing and Embroidery can help with a wide variety of options, from shirts to sweatshirts and jackets to hats. Call SK Screen Printing and Embroidery at 715-533-1933 for all your group's apparel needs. That's SK Screen Printing and Embroidery in Colfax.
We're at Lions Park in Elk Mound, heading into the bottom of the 5th inning. All tied at 4. This is quite a difference from the last time these two teams faced over in Colfax, where the Mounders knocked off the Vikings 13-0. 7 hits for the Vikings today. It's been a while since we've seen a hit output like that. Mounders have 4 hits. And pop up by Boric out into right field, and in comes Paulus to make the catch. Braden Boric flies out to right. That's going to bring up Cameron Diermeyer. It's nice to see that outfielders other than Drew Beekner can catch fly balls out there, because he had caught the last 5. Diermeyer popped out on a bunt and then flew out to center field. That pitch missed outside for a ball. There's the wind and the pitch. There's a fly ball out toward center field. Beekner underneath, and he makes a catch. That's going to bring up Peyton Veith, who struck out looking and flew out to Beekner. I think that fly out to Beekner is going to be kind of a consistent thing in the line score here. And a strike call that caught the front edge of the plate and the knee, and the bottom dropped out of it. And the pitch. That one gets a little bit outside, and it's 1-1 the count. 2 down. Here's the wind in the pitch. That's high and inside for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Caleb, you got it.
And the pitch. Fly ball, center field. Beekner over there. And he makes the catch. So for Elk Mound, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We've played 5 and we're tied at 4 on NLWN-TV.
We at NLWN-TV are excited to take you out to the ballpark for Colfax Viking baseball. Our next game will be on Monday, May 12th when the Vikings host the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Our coverage begins with the Bullpen Show, where we'll warm you up for baseball action starting at 4:40 p.m. That's Colfax High School baseball on Monday, May 12th. We at NLWN-TV are excited to take you out to the ballpark for Colfax Viking baseball.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because I felt like a failure. And then I realized, like, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine, but if you're not, it's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Going into the top of the 6th inning. Vikings hoping to take a lead. Brady Elmer at the plate. He grounded to the pitcher and flew out to left. Here's the pitch to him, swing and a miss for a strike. Braden Borick on the mound for Elk Mound. And there's chopper foul down the third baseline. I'm looking at Amanda. Should we say that he's the elk on the mound? Yeah, she's banging her head on. Yeah, she says, don't quit your day job. Brady Elmer goes down looking. So 1 down. Brings up Rob Holman. He's doubled and struck out. He scored a run. And the pitch. Line shot. That goes out into center field for a base hit just over the glove of Veith. And Rob Holman safe on first with a base hit. That's his 2nd hit of the game. Brings up Connor Arnson. He singled his last time up. And there's a pop-up out into right center field. Second baseman Dean is back and he makes the catch. That's going to bring up Grant Cook. He singled his last time up. And then was caught stealing. And the runner goes, and he's safe. Close. It was a close throw that time by Thatcher, but in safely at second base is Rob Holman. And the pitch. That's outside for a ball. A ball and a strike with 2 down. Runner on second. Here's the pitch. Strike called on the inside corner. Grant Cook wasn't quite sure about that one coming in. And now the pitch. And he fouls that one back. Protecting the plate that time. And the pitch. Fly ball out into center field and right to Deermeyer. So the Vikings go down. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. And we've played 5.5, and it's the Vikings 4, Mounders 4 on NLWN-TV.
You too can help support Colfax School Athletics. Simply join us at the Colfax School Athletic Booster Club. The Booster Club is committed to create an environment that inspires student athletes, coaches, parents, and the community to come together and create a positive and spirited atmosphere. As a member, you'll have the opportunity to plan and participate in exciting club activities like next year's Viking Gala, whose theme is going to be totally rad. The Colfax Booster Club meets on the second Wednesday of every month at the Viking Bowl. Come and check us out.
In November of 2018, our daughter Jana passed away. The outpouring of support was unbelievable. Support that we received inspired us to start a foundation called the Jana Kelly Memorial Foundation. And through that foundation,
we've given back in a lot of different ways, through projects, through different other charities that we've supported. We like to help Humane Association, and the Ronald McDonald House is something that's very near and dear to us. We've also recently, this last year, we actually built a tiny house. It's really exciting to be able to give back in different ways.
to learn more or to help financially, find us on Facebook or www.janakelly.com.
We're all tied at 4 as we head into the bottom half of the 6th inning. Due up for the Mounders, Vic Noller, Caden Moyer, and Ian Garretts. Noller homered his last time up. Pitch is outside for a ball. He planted it over the right field fence. And the pitch. That's down low. Two balls. And the 2-0. Popped up. Heading in and not making the catch is Orion Nichols. And that's going to be a 2-base error by Nichols. That's going to bring up Caden Moyer, the pitcher, or third baseman, I should say. He grounded to short, flew out to center. Throw over to second, and not in time. It was close, but not in time. Bailey keep him close over at second. And a strike called to Caden Moyer. And the pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. And Bailey delivers. Line shot, foul down the left field line. And they throw that ball back in. Bailey at the belt, and he delivers. Line shot out into left field. That ball is not caught by Nichols. Diving attempt, so it's going to be a base hit for Caden Moyer. But Noller couldn't advance because he wasn't sure if Nichols was going to catch the ball. Nobody out. 2 runners on for the Mounders. And at the plate is Ian Garretts. And he tries to lay down a bunt, and it's foul. And it's a called strike. Both runners steal. So now we have runners at second and third. Vikings pull the infield in. And that one got him. No, he's saying he stuck his hand out. And so it's not a hit by pitch. He let go of the bat, stuck his hand out, and that doesn't count. It counts as a foul ball. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's a big out right there. It brings up Gavin Dean. He's walked and flew out to center field. There's a strike call. Vikings giving a lot of defensive instructions out there, but the best one would be for Caleb Bailey to get a strikeout here. And that just missed outside. A ball and a strike with 1 out, 2 runners on. And the pitch. Line shot out into right field for a base hit. 1 run is in. Here comes the second run in to score. And Gavin Dean singles to right with 2 RBI. And that scores Knoller and Moyer. And we're going to have a talk out on the mound now by the Vikings. Mounders on top 6-4. This is Coach DeMoe out there having a chat with them. We've got a lot of Viking baseball for you coming up next week. 3 games in 4 days, and the next one will be on Monday the 12th, and the Vikings host the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. First pitch is set for 5 o'clock, and our coverage on NLWN-TV will begin with the bullpen show starting at 4:40. And of course, live play-by-play action follows that. Stepping up for the Mounders, Will Thatcher. Doubled his first time up and then grounded to short his last time. Throw over to first, and diving back in is Gavin Dean. 1 out, runner on first. Bailey delivers. Runner goes. Throw it on to second is a little late. And so Dean has the stolen base. No balls in the strike. And the pitch. Fly ball out into center field. Beekner under it. He makes the catch. And the throw comes in to the cutoff man, and that means that Gavin Dean will not have a chance to advance. It's going to bring up Parker Rude with 2 down. Singled his first time up, then struck out. And the pitch. That one just missed. It's a ball. And the pitch. Hard smack ball out into left field. Dean rounds third, throw coming to the plate, and it's not going to be there. Throw over to second, and checking in at second is Rude. So Dean comes in to score. Rude gets credit for a single to left with an RBI and went to second on the throw. And it's going to bring up Braden Borick, the pitcher. That's high for a ball. And the pitch. High fly ball out into right field. Paulus camping under it, and he makes the catch. So for the Mounders, they pick up 3 runs on 3 hits. There was 1 Viking error and 1 left on base. So we've played 6, and it's the Mounders 7, Vikings 4 on NLWN-TV.
Kyle's Market in Colfax, locally owned since 2007 and is a proud supporter of Colfax High School Scholarship and Athletics. Kyle's Meat Department is second to none, and they're known for their homemade smoked meats. Don't forget the fresh veggies, cheese, and frozen foods. Kyle's Market has got it all. Kyle's Market is your hometown market where customer service is supersized. They'll even carry your groceries out to your car. That's Kyle's Market in Colfax.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Well, we head into the 7th inning. Vikings have a little bit of work ahead of them. They're down by 3. That's doable. They've had a couple of innings where they've scored 3 runs. They scored 3 in the second. And they scored 3 in the 6th. Oh, check that. That's wrong team. But they did score 3 in the 3rd. There's a strike called. This is to Grant Palowitz. Palowitz singled and scored his first time up. That one missed away. Ball and a strike. And the pitch. Strike 2 called. One ball, 2 strikes to Grant Palowitz. Here's the pitch. And that one's fouled back out of play. So the count holds at 1-2. And the pitch. That's high. Counts even at 2-2. And the pitch. Foul tipped into the glove for strike 3. 1 down, back to the top of the order for the Vikings. Drew Beekner, and Drew is due. He popped to first, flew out to center field, and hit a line shot right off the top of the foot of the third baseman. There's a pop foul out of play. And the pitch, that one would have been good in a cricket match. And the pitch. That's high. 2 balls and a strike to Drew Beekner. And the pitch. Down in the dirt. 3-1. And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Full count now to Drew Beekner. Borak and swing and a miss. Strike 3. Borak struck him out. That's going to bring up Caleb Bailey. That's the 4th strikeout by Braden Borak. Swing and a miss by Bailey. Borak just bringing the heat now.
You got it, Caleb.
2 down. Vikings down to their last out. And the pitch. There's a ground ball over towards short. Throw over to first. And he's out at first. So that's going to do it for the Vikings in the 7th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. Final score in this one, the Elk Mound Mounders 7 and the Vikings 4. Winning pitcher in this game would be Braden Borak, and the losing pitcher is, and it's really too bad because he pitched a heck of a game, is Caleb Bailey. We'll be back with more information right after this timeout with Talkin' Baseball on NLWN-TV.
To get your lawn or garden to perform at attracting what you want, you first need to know what your soil is working with. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, serving Western Wisconsin.
Thank you for joining us for today's Colfax Vikings baseball game. This has been a presentation of NLWN-TV. This has been presented for the private listening and viewing use of the TuneIn audience. Any broadcast, rebroadcast, or reproduction in any form without the express written consent of the Northern Light Webcasting Network LLC and Colfax High School is strictly prohibited. Stay tuned! Coming up next is Viking Download, where we take a look back at today's Colfax Viking game.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Time now for Viking Download with a talk about today's Colfax Viking baseball game. And now, back out to the ballpark.
And we're back here at Lions Park in Elk Mound as we'll have a chat with Viking head coach Ben Anderson coming up very shortly. But the Vikings hung in there today. They didn't get the W, but they came about as close as you can with a tie game going into the 6th inning, taking a tie into the bottom of the 6th at 4, and then the Mounders put 3 more on the board, and the Vikings just couldn't do anything in the 7th. Winning pitcher in this game was Braden Borak, who came on in relief in the 3rd inning, and then he picked up the win. Losing pitcher, in spite of an outstanding pitching performance, was for Caleb Bailey. He only gave up 7 hits. 1 of those was a long ball, and he struck out 3, and 1 of those strikeouts was a person going down looking. And that curveball did have the Mounders out in front, out behind. They timed it up a little bit, but they weren't able to really barrel up the ball. Like I say, Bailey gave up 7 hits. The Vikings out-hit the Mounders. And again, there were a couple of fielding mistakes that cost them. There was that error in the 6th inning that kind of got things rolling for them in that 3-run 6th inning. And there was an error back in the 2nd inning as well. But overall, they played relatively clean baseball. And we're waiting for Coach Anderson. And I'll tell you what, why don't we take a bit of a timeout here as you're tuned to Viking baseball on NLWN-TV.
We at NLWN-TV are excited to take you out to the ballpark for Colfax Viking baseball. Our next game will be on Monday, May 12th when the Vikings host the Elmwood, Plum City Wolves. Our coverage begins with the Bullpen Show, where we'll warm you up for baseball action starting at 4:40 p.m. That's Colfax High School baseball on Monday, May 12th.
Let NLWN-TV take you out to the ballgame. Our next broadcast will be on Saturday, May 10th, when we will bring you the Cavaliers taking on the Chippewa Falls Lumberjacks in a doubleheader from Carson Park. Live coverage on NLWN-TV begins with the In the Dugout show at 12 noon. That's live Eau Claire Cavalier baseball on Saturday, May 10th on NLWN-TV.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't always give you time to...
We at NLWN-TV are excited to take you out to the ballpark for Colfax Viking baseball. Our next game will be on Monday, May 12th when the Vikings host the Elmwood, Plum City Wolves. Our coverage begins with the Bullpen Show, where we'll warm you up for baseball action starting at 4:40 p.m. That's Colfax High School baseball on Monday, May 12th.
Get in touch with the roots of the Chippewa Valley at the Chippewa Valley Museum. Located in Eau Claire's Carson Park, with a mission of connecting people to their community and inspire curiosity. From reinventing the Chippewa Valley, a century of change in farm life, the Farmhouse Theater, along with the Wisconsin Logging Museum and Logging Camp. Also, the Chippewa Valley Museum features special temporary exhibits and traveling exhibits, as well as web exhibits. The Chippewa Valley Museum is open Tuesdays through Saturdays. Call for more information at 715-834-7871.
And we're back here in Elk Mound where the Vikings fall to the Mounders 7-4 in actually a very entertaining and very exciting game. Don't forget, summer hours at the Chippewa Valley Museum are going to begin on May 31st. Check them out at cvmuseum.com for more information. Also, don't forget that the exhibit Anderson to Yang, along with the traveling exhibit Rocks and Hard Places on loan from the Vesterheim Museum in Decorah, Iowa, are there for your perusing pleasure through the end of August. And joining us right now is it's the second time today I've done that, Viking head coach Ben Anderson. And Ben, the boys played well today.
Finally played the way that I know that they can play. We got the bats out and got ripping. I mean, we've been after them all year to swing the bat, knowing they can hit bats. And a lot of hard hit balls that weren't hits. They had a multiple line drives that were caught at third base. Orion had one out to left field that normally a left fielder's not playing right on the line. A few other ones that were really hard hit. The kids got to be excited. Disappointed with the loss, 100%, but if we can just keep growing and swinging the bats like this, it'd be great.
Yeah, that one that Drew Beekner hit down the third base line to the third baseman, he caught it right off the top of his shoe. And he probably ought to check and see if the shoe got untied in the process, because I got to feel badly for Drew. He kind of was snake bit today. He had an over day, but he hit the ball hard.
He has been all year, kind of, right? He's had a lot of balls hit hard that have been right to the best players sometimes. And that I don't know if that kid caught the ball or if the ball caught him. That was a hard hit ball. So.
But I've got to hand it to Drew out in center field. 8 fly balls today. That's a heck of a day.
We love having him out there. He covers a lot of ground and
he's sure gloved.
He's been great for us. Yep, for sure. He's been fantastic. Everybody was, though. I mean, we had a couple misplays here and there, but in general, moved Connor to short where he normally doesn't play. Needed him there, and he made a couple plays at short. It was fantastic. Palowitz, we put him in second.
His first chance at shortstop, the ball took a little bit of a weird bounce on him. He got his body in front of it, knocked it down with his body, and was able to make the play.
A lot of stuff we've talked about in practice, and he's brought it into practice. So it's fantastic to see. He's really played well this heading into the midseason of the season, and hopefully it can make him grow. I mean, he's still a sophomore yet. He's young, like everybody else. Most everybody else we got out there, they're all young. So we're almost sophomores all the way across the infield most of the time. So.
And you've got Caleb Bailey out there, deserved to get a win today.
Pitch to Jim.
He threw 6 solid innings, only gave up 7 hits.
Yeah.
1 was a long ball, but, you only give up 7 hits. Vikings out-hit the Mounders.
Yeah, for sure. Nope. It's we hit that. That's the way I know we can hit. That's what I told the guys, that we hit this way in practice, and then we come into a game, and it comes quick on us. So I'm super happy with the way we played, and now we got to make it this same way on Monday. We got a winnable game Monday, and we got to come out this way on Monday and ready to roll. So.
And the stat for strikeouts, I normally don't like strikeout stats against the Vikings, but there were only 2 that were looking. That's a big improvement.
That was 11 or 12 in the first couple games, right?
Yeah, it was.
And no, for sure. They're probably sick of hearing us talk about it, because we've talked a ton about it. And
well, if they're sick of hearing you talk about it, do something about it.
Yep, for sure. So, and that's what they decided to do, and they did fantastic. So happy to see, and hopefully we can keep rolling and keep playing like this.
Now, here's a question for you. We'll look ahead a little bit here, because coming up next week, boy, you've got a nightmare of a schedule.
We got 3 games.
3 games in 4 days.
Yep.
You got pitching for that?
Yeah, we just did it this last week. Granted, 1 game was a JV game, but we did 3 games this week too. So we'll figure it out one way or another. We'll survive. I don't know exactly what we'll do, but and with Zach, I got to figure out if I can get Zach back at some point in time. I don't know, but having him down really hurts us. But I'm not gonna not play games because of pitching. We'll figure out somebody to
figure something out. Yep.
So.
Well, I know it's not a win, but it sure kind of has the feel of one, because these guys finally played a game, and they're playing against one of the top teams in the state.
Yep. Yeah, I think I just saw today the West Central rankings came out, and Elk Mound and Mondovi are 1-2 in the 3 and 4 divisions. So it's a great team, and the way they beat us last time, it showed it. We made them nervous today, right? We made them work for it. That's first thing I told the kids tonight was I was so happy that we made a team earn a victory for the first time, and that's awesome.
You could see it on their faces. We have a really good, not a real great vantage point for watching balls and strikes, but when the batter's in the batter's box, we could see the look on some of their faces occasionally, and there was a lot of frustration. Part of that is Caleb Bailey's curveball.
Yep. For sure.
He had them off balance, and they were very frustrated.
Yep. And we were hitting the ball.
You guys were hitting it.
We made them make outs on us. We didn't give them anything. So it was great. Yeah. It wasn't 1, 2, 3. Go sit back on the bench. It was 1 and they were running. So it was awesome to see. I hope we can continue the same thing.
Well, congratulations on a well-played game, and let's do this all over again on Monday.
Yeah, 3 home games next week. That's awesome, right?
Yes, it is.
Thanks.
All right.
Appreciate it.
And we'll be back with more on NLWN-TV right after this.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
And we're back here in Elk Mound, wrapping things up as the Colfax fell to the Elk Mound Mounders 7-4 in a really well-contested baseball game. Winning pitcher was Braden Borick for the Mounders. Losing pitcher, Caleb Bailey for the Vikings. Although Bailey went 6 solid innings and pitched well, but Mounders just scored a few more runs than the Vikings. So I want to remind you that Vikings' next game is going to be on Monday, May 12th, when the Vikings host the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. First pitch is at 5 o'clock. Our coverage on NLWN-TV will begin with the In the Bullpen show, and that starts at 4:40 with live play-by-play to follow. The Viking girls softball team's next game will be on Saturday, weather permitting, when the Vikings participate in the Pepin softball tournament. First game there is at 11 a.m. The Viking boys and girls track teams will host the Colfax Invitational on Tuesday, May 13th. Events begin at 4 p.m. Be sure to join us on NLWN-TV on Saturday, May 10th, as we bring you the Eau Claire Cavaliers taking on the Chippewa Falls Lumberjacks in a doubleheader from Carson Park in Eau Claire. The In the Dugout show will begin at 12 noon, followed by live play-by-play action. That's live Eau Claire Cavalier baseball on NLWN-TV on Saturday, May 10th. And also make sure you join us on NLWN2 for our coverage of vintage baseball, as we bring you the Menominee Blue Caps playing baseball. It's in the style of the 1860s, and in the 1860s it was 2 words. And so our first will be on Monday, June 23rd. We're going to bring you our coverage of the Blue Caps taking on the Flat Rock Bear Clan out of Michigan. I love the name of that team. And the Fillmore Fungi from Minnesota. That's got a great name too. That's all taking place at the Menominee Baseball Festival. Coverage begins at 7 o'clock on NLWN2 on Monday, June 23rd. Today's Colfax Viking baseball game has been brought to you by Anderson Bridges, the Colfax Schools Booster Club, the Chippewa Valley Museum, the Concierge Home Decor and more, Dairy State Bank, Clucas Electric, Menominee, or check that, Kyle's Market, Logslet Plumbing, Menominee Eye and Optical, Midwest Environmental Consultants, Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax, SK Screen Printing and Embroidery, the Viking Bowl, and Woods Run Forest Products. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Colfax Viking Baseball on NLWN-TV. So for Amanda Lemler on the computer, John Fellons on the camera, this is Rick Olson. That final score once again, the Elk Mound Mounders 7, Vikings 4. You're tuned to Viking Download on NLWN-TV.
You've been watching Viking Download with a talk about today's Colfax Viking baseball game. This has been a production of NLWN-TV.